Cybercriminals are targeting businesses of all sizes these days, especially when you look at that 10 to 15 employee business. That business is at very high risk. Why? Because first, they have a non-functional security solution in place. This means that they have something that they don't have properly configured. Also, some of them may not even have a security solution in place at all. So these guys, they are at very high risk of being attacked, and if they are attacked, chances are that attack is going to be successful because, again, they don't have proper protection in place. Now, if that was to happen, then typically for these businesses, what that means is shutting down, right? They go out of business because these attacks can even go as high as $200,000.
Right. One shot and you're done.
Exactly. And these guys, again, don't have a huge cash reserves. They live off loans. They are just starting, right? So, again, successful cyber attack for them might mean end of business.
Okay, but they might not even have that kind of money. So why would they be so attractive to cyber criminals?
Well, cyber criminals these days are looking at these guys as the low-hanging fruit because they are not prepared and they know that. So they are just targeting them. Typically, in the past, in the old days, they were looking at these big organizations, right, where they were just persisting to get a nice amount of money. But these days, they are looking for fast profits. So they are looking at these very little businesses. Again, it's a numbers game. So they go one after the other. And once they are successful, then that's it. They go after the next one. If they're not successful, they are not going to keep trying. So if you look at the one single business, it's going to be very little amount of money. However, for the hacker, because they are looking at a very long list of businesses that they are targeting one after the other, then when you could put all of that together, then all of a sudden it's a very interesting piece of business for them, right?
Yeah, like you said, low-hanging fruit, numbers game, makes a lot of sense. So what kind of attacks are small businesses exposed to?
Well, we are still seeing a lot of ransomware. This is something that, from the hacker perspective, once the payload, the malware is executed, is relatively simple in terms of getting the money back, right? Because once, the malware is executed, then they are just waiting for the money to be paid in cryptocurrency, and that's it. So that's a very typical one, even for very, very small businesses. We are also seeing, of course, the usual phishing attack, leveraging social engineering techniques to go and lure the user to click on the wrong link, right? Enter there the credit card details, the username, the password, or PII, so personal identifiable information, right? They can just take and put it on the black market, on the deep web, and sell it and make profit. Of course, we are also seeing other types of malware, so they might just want to compromise the organization because maybe they are looking at a specific database that the business has or wants to compromise a specific system in the network. That also happens, so they infect a device and then this malware moves laterally around the network until they find what they need. And also quite of an interesting one because, these guys, these small businesses are tied to suppliers, right? They are customer of theirs. Yep. If I am a hacker and I want to compromise a supplier, it's going to take me more effort because these suppliers are bigger companies. They have more strict security measures in place. So again, it will be more effort. However, if I am targeting the small business, I know there is an implicit trust between them, between the small business and the big supplier. So it's kind of like a backdoor. So I am compromising the small business. And
but
then
you're getting a deal, you're getting into the other one.
Exactly, okay.
Exactly. You kind of touched on this, but so if they're that vulnerable, why are they better protected?
Very good question. So we truly believe there is a big gap here. So when we are looking at the more or less up to 50 user company, 50 employee company, these are organizations that don't really have IT security skills in-house. So they look at the market and see what's out there, and maybe they look at the firewalls, right, that are specialized on the SMB segment. However, these firewalls, first, they still require some level of knowledge to be properly configured, to be properly set up, to be used properly, and they don't have those skills. That's number one. And number two, they have a higher TCO, total cost of ownership, because they have to get a piece of hardware normally that they have to maintain, that it needs to be replaced, that again, it's something that it's an ongoing thing to maintain. So normally they just fall back to endpoint solutions. So when they look at those, it's something, it's a piece of software that you install. They are readily available off the shelf. They try to install them. Sometimes they install it on some of the many of the devices. But in any case, it's something that is very easily left unattended, right, because it requires to some degree to keep an eye on them, to make sure that they are being updated, being maintained. So at the end of the day, they are being neglected to some degree. So bottom line, even if I have a piece of software, I'm not also covering all of the entire network, because, for example, let's say that I have an IoT device, right? I cannot install an antivirus there. Right. So I am missing that piece. Right. So again, bottom line, I don't have a proper solution in place. If I have a solution, it's normally misconfigured, or I don't have a solution at all.
Or halfway.
Or halfway, yes.
Halfway. All right. So in the new world that we live in, work from home has become popular, if not the new norm, right?
Yes.
So how is that affecting the security of small businesses?
That has a huge effect on cybersecurity. Well, first of all, when we look at it from, let's say, from a business point of view, so work from home is something attractive to me, right? If I think about the employee, I am saving some commuting hours. That employee doesn't have to go to the office as often. They get some flexibility. That's for them. For me as a business, I don't have to have as much of a big office to hold all of my employees, because they are not coming at the same time. So all things considered, it's a nice thing for both the employee and the business. However, from a cybersecurity perspective, this has a huge impact, because now we have to take into account a situation where normally you have a device in the old days that is in the office all the time, not moving, and I kind of have it under control. However, now we have a device that is going somewhere else, is connecting from other networks. Those networks are not being managed by me, by the SMB owner. I don't know anything about them. This can be the home of the employee. This can be a coffee shop. Can be anything. Bottom line, these are networks that are not controlled and are normally not secured. So the issue here is that if that device gets infected, most probably will get infected, that device is coming back to the office, right? It's coming back to the office.
It's gonna get everyone else infected.
Exactly, same as COVID. It's the same idea. So we have something being exposed that then is coming to the office, and this is happening quite regularly. Right. It's a hybrid model. So maybe one day I'm connecting from Starbucks, the day after I go to the office, then I work from home, then again to the office. So it's a huge risk. So more important than ever, we have to make sure that we have proper security in place in the office, and for these devices, wherever they go, they have to be protected.